Hey guys, Entertain here. I already made this introduction video for my ride today, but the battery ran out, so I have no idea how much of it it recorded. So I'll sum it up as quick as possible. I guess I actually did record it. I decided kind of on a whim to go for a long ride. It's the longest ride I've purposely taken in years and years. I did one long ride with Brad recently, and that was kind of like, that was even crazier because we started off, we were doing a medium-sized ride, and then at some point we decided, let's just make this ride much longer and go here and here and here. And okay. And that ride was so insane that it wasn't even fun. And then, because we ended up having to do a lot of night riding, we ended up having to do a lot of night riding. And I'm already up in the clouds. Yeah, we ended up, with Brad, I ended up, like, I didn't get home until late at night, and the roads that we were doing were like this. It was like mountain roads, and it was raining. It was like mountain roads in the clouds, in heavy rain, on a big-ass heavy motorcycle, and the roads were actually much more twisty than this. Yeah, it wasn't fun. So I kind of vowed never to do that again if I could help it. What I did today is I woke up really early, and I plan on doing about 10 hours of actual riding time sitting on the bike, and then maybe with about 2 hours of breaks thrown in. So I started riding at 6:30, and hopefully I can be back at my house by about 6:30. And yeah, and that's about it. I got some new cameras. So I have like different views of my bike. I've got a few new cameras, but I've only got the extra one hooked up right now. So you have two views, but eventually you'll have more as I start to add more on and figure out where to put them. Just trying to add a bit more technology to my videos, like, you know, a bit more production value, I suppose. So today so far has been shitty, but I don't necessarily take that as a bad omen, because hopefully I'm just getting like all my bad luck for the day at once. You know, like, for example, and I mentioned this in the last video, like I almost crashed just pulling out of my house pretty much. Pretty much the first turn I took, the very first bend in the road, I lost my rear and I just slid, and I held it, but I slid a good bit. Stand up for a second. How's that for a view? Nice. These clouds, it was funny. When I started pulling out my camera to record, all these clouds were beneath me. They were like underneath me. But as I was fiddling with my camera and I took a leak, as I was fiddling and doing stuff, I wasn't fiddling with myself. I was fiddling with my things. And then the urination part where I had my hands on my penis was separate. Okay, I jerked off. I was like, this is a nice view. And then I just pulled over and started masturbating side of the road. You should try it. Honestly, if you've never done that before, just like masturbate. You know, if it's up in the mountain, there's no police. You're not going to get busted for it. Yeah, so I just, and then by the time I got my camera out and running, the clouds had moved up to about the same level as me, and then there wasn't much to see. It was just white. I was like, damn it. Sneaky clouds are sneaky like that. They're always doing shit like that. They're like, hey, look at us, we're beneath you, take a picture. And then you're pulling out your camera, and then you turn around, and then right next to you, they're like, ha, too slow. So, yeah. I'm reaching my first checkpoint now. I've been riding for, well, it's 8 o'clock, so I've been riding for an hour and a half. And I've got another, whoa, shit. Yeah, it's too early to stop now. Normally, this is a town where all the bikers meet. I'm in a little town right now. You guys probably can't see dick because of the freaking sun on our face. There's a 7-Eleven there. The bikes usually come and hang out there. GPS now has no destination. And I gotta hook it up. One sec, I gotta hook it up to my Bluetooth. So I'm running, so I got the camera in my eyes, I got the camera here, and then I got GPS with Bluetooth hooked up. It's funny, these trucks are so big and slow, and you think, well, I'm gonna do much better time than them. But I've passed that truck twice, and then twice he's passed me back. So even though I'm flying along, double the speed limit, you know, taking corners, extreme lean angles, etc., so forth and all that, he still catches up. It's funny, I've said it before, and it's not entirely true, but it is partially true. All vehicles are the same speed when it comes to scooter, motorcycle, car, truck. Actually, cars, no, a car would be faster than a truck. But it's just like, with a lot of the bigger vehicles, one sec. Like with the smaller vehicles, like scooters and motorcycles, they're fast, and they can on these roads they can pass the shit out of everything. Problem is that you need to take breaks regularly. You got to get some water. You have to stop your vehicle to take a drink. If you're in a car, you can have the water down, and you can drink and eat and do shit and never stop. On a motorcycle, scooter, you can't. You can't just continuously go. You can't ride for 4 hours straight without stopping. In a car, I can. You can put me in a car for 4 hours straight. I won't stop once. You know, I don't. I'm exaggerating a bit, but not a lot. Yeah, but I know guys that do that. They'll bring along a piss bottle for their cars if they really want to make good time. I've never been that desperate to make good time to pee in my own car. It's not something that I'd want to do, to be honest. There we go. So, yeah, I just put in the address of a restaurant in a city that's like roughly 400 kilometers away from my house. So I'm pretty much just going there for lunch, and then I'm gonna rush back. That's my original plan. I'm like, that'd be funny if I did one all the way. I'm gonna travel through altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm traveling through roughly 5 or 6 different cities to get to the 5th or the 6th. No, it's 6 or 7th. I'm traveling through 4 or 5 to get to the 6th or 7th. I don't know, 5th or 6th. I'm traveling through roughly 5 cities today to get to the 6th city where I'm gonna have lunch. So that's I think that's pretty funny. I've got a rock on my left foot. So yeah, so hopefully the new camera angle's working. I didn't fiddle with it much, so I don't know how the angle is. I don't know what's gonna look like. I might have to reposition it. Well, that's pretty good. When I left my house this morning, just for the heck of it, I put in my final destination, the lunch spot, to my GPS to see when it would say I would get there, and it said like 10:38. And I've stopped a couple times since then. I've done other stuff, and I've been riding towards a different destination, and then there's been traffic and traffic lights, and then just now I put in my final destination again, like an hour and a half later, and it still says the same time, 10:38, which is amazing, because somehow I shaved off, like I stopped. You know, like if you just stop at a red light for 1 minute, that'll add a minute onto your arrival time. It doesn't factor in traffic lights, so somehow I've shaved off more time riding than I put on at lights and stopping to pee, etc. So I'm impressed with me. And this road I'm not overly familiar with. I want to run right now, but it's 2 lanes. You gotta 2 lanes. There's another mountain road that's a bit more direct, but it's like 1 lane, and it's even twistier than this. And I was like, and that's another thing too. That's a speed camera there. I passed this morning when I was making my first video blog introducing this trip. It was a good blog, and then I go to turn my camera off, and it wasn't recording. My sunglasses one wasn't recording. This one was. So. And I'm just like, son of a bitch! Like, no battery. I always keep all my shit charged and ready to go, but for some reason I didn't with this in this instance. And I so. And then I was like, right after I was like, son of a bitch! I like gunned the gas, and then like 2 seconds later, speed camera on the right hand side. I was like, son of a double bitch! It was just like. So that's what I mean by bad luck today so far. I hope I didn't. There's no guarantee I got a ticket. These things, believe it, the speed cameras here, believe it, are I think still use film. They're not digital yet, so they actually they take a certain number of pictures, or they give certain number of pictures for speeding tickets, and then that's it. And then they run out of film, and then you got to wait for like some traffic guy, police guy to come and change the film on them. Because there was one speed camera that was on my way to work, and like I experimented with it. I'm like, okay, what happens if I go this speed? What happens if I go this speed? And I was like expecting to get a ticket because I kept going quicker and quicker past this traffic camera, and nothing ever happened. And it got to the point where I was just blown by it, doing double, triple the speed limit, and nothing was happening. And then, he put on his emergencies and slowed down to let me pass. Nice. I waved to him too. You get the odd, on my tour, sometimes when we're going uphill, holy shit, man. We're going uphill and we're on scooters, so we don't have all that much power because uphill. But we're still going faster than the cars, and we're still the fastest thing on the road, pretty much. And then every once in a while, we'll catch up to some asshole, like in a fucking van or something, and he's going like slower than us, but quick enough so that it's really difficult for us to pass him. Like, especially what happens is when you're going uphill, scooters versus cars, the cars uphill, they'll still slow right the heck down for corners like these, and us on the scooters, we're flying through the corners. So every time they slow down for the corners, we have to we got to brake hard to not rear end them, and then we're stuck behind them through a bunch of twisties, but we can't pass them because it's narrow corners. And then once we get back onto a straight again, the cars gun it, and we can't pass them, even though we can keep up to them, but we don't have enough power to pull out and pass. That's an example of where, you need more power to be safe. So we end up being stuck behind these vehicles. And then one time, there was a van that we were stuck behind, and it's like, it should have been obvious to him that we were quicker than him because we were all right on his ass, like he couldn't get, he not only couldn't get away from us, but we were like pretty much tailgating him. And then this van, his engine wasn't in good shape, so every time he'd hit the gas, he'd pour smoke onto us, and I was just like, and I was trying to pass him, but I couldn't, and then he's pouring smoke onto us, so I was like, I got really angry. I was just laying on my horn. I was like right behind him, just laying on my horn, and I did not give a fuck. And then I'm like, fuck it. So, because I knew I could pass him, but it was the rest of my tour group that I was worried about. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna pass him, and I'm gonna make him stop, and I'm gonna get in front of him, just brake, and then make him stop, and then just tell him off. But what happened then? I don't know. I think he turned off like shortly thereafter, or someone in my group wanted to stop for some reason, so he ended up getting away. But I was searching for him afterwards. I was so angry. Anyways, it's not on topic of this ride. So yeah, I'm just gonna update you guys every once in a while, let you know how the ride's going. Later on today, I'm gonna hook up another camera view probably not the best idea to be like fooling around with new cameras on a day when I'm supposed to be riding so much, you know. Like, realistically, if I'm fiddling with cameras, I should just go for a short ride where I can stop a lot and fiddle with them, as opposed to a super long ride. But whatever, I'm committed. I'm stubborn and I'm committed. And I just like the idea that at noon today, I'm going to send my wife like a photo of me in a city that's like super far away. And she's just going to be like, what the fuck? And I'm like, don't worry, I'll be home for dinner.